Хөрхөн охид trap сонсон trap сонсон trap донсон түүний сонсдог хөгжим дур булаан даалж дуулан дур булаа мууруулаа I'm a dead trap nigga young trap nigga
What's up, people? It's Adam Hunter here. It's a brand new MMA Roasted Podcast. We got a great show today. Listen, a lot of people are hesitant to try hemp-derived CBD oil because they just don't know where to start. There's so many different products and brands. It's hard to know which one's right for you, how much to take, when to take it, how to know if you're taking too much. Well, this family-owned business, family-owned at naturesoilsonline.com, okay, they will take care of you, all right? They're good people, all right? They provide the highest quality U.S.-grown hemp-derived CBD products, and they also give personal guidance choosing the right product and finding a dose that works for you. How cool is that, right? Amazing, I mean, it doesn't happen anywhere. Actually, a family will you can call them up. All right? Their hemp is grown in the U.S. without the use of pesticides. It's mixed with organic MCT coconut oil. Each batch is third-party lab tested for potency and purity, and the results are posted on their website. They have a variety of products, including full-spectrum or whole plant hemp oil extract, hemp-derived isolate tinctures, hemp and emu oil, pain balm, and full-spectrum CBD dog chews. My dog is like 15 years old, can't even see. He's got cataracts. I give him this stuff. He's like Air Bud. He's flying around. He loves it. So go to naturesoilsonline.com, and that includes free shipping within the continental U.S. You can call them directly at 469-525-3131. That's 469-525-3131. Now mention Adam10 to get 10% off your total purchase. Also, speedweed. Marijuana is legal in California, all right? So you can get it delivered. You get pizza delivered. You get Chinese food. Some people get prostitutes delivered. All kinds of things get delivered. Well, they'll deliver marijuana. They'll deliver THC sex lube. My wife and I used that last night. It was great. Amazing stuff. You could use any kind of stuff. They have it. They have CBD oil. They have macaroons. They have edibles. You name it, they got it. Just go to speedweed.com. Follow them at Speedweed. The guy Gino is a great guy. Big fan of MMA Roasted. Mention Roasted, you get $10 off, $100 or more. Now, we got big sexy McCorkle here.
Yes, sir.
He's in town. The Weendawg is here.
What's up, dude?
It's going to be a great show. I can already feel it. Weendawg, you went to CB. I had to be on the road. I had a show on Saturday night, but you went to CB Gold's wedding?
Yeah, it was...
and so did you, McCorkle.
What's that? I did, yes. I was there.
You were there?
Yeah.
Oh.
You missed him?
Did you go to the reception?
I was at the reception all night, yeah. The wedding we were a little bit late getting to because Expedia was nice enough. I picked the wrong hotel and then tried to immediately call them and say, hey, I accidentally clicked the wrong hotel when I did this because I already have all my stuff stored. They said, oh, too bad, non-refundable. So I was like, so don't go to Expedia, but go to Speedweed instead.
Yeah, I mean, it was exactly what you would imagine CB Gold's wedding was like. You show up and it's a bunch of mannequins with UFC fighters' faces on them.
Really?
And the minister was Conor McGregor's. It was like a wax figure of Conor McGregor.
Really?
No, of course
okay.
not. It was a very, very nice wedding. I was kind of, I ain't gonna lie, I was underdressed. I came in a Hawaiian shirt. And
no, I heard you were wearing a Hawaiian shirt with a McGregor t-shirt under it versus Khabib, which he lost.
Yeah.
Did anybody say to you, why are you wearing a McGregor Khabib shirt?
No, but I was very, very embarrassed because I was extremely underdressed.
Yeah.
It was a nice Jewish wedding. Everybody was wearing tuxedos and suits, and I'm over there in a Hawaiian shirt, dude.
Well, you didn't even go to my wedding. You didn't show up. At least you showed up.
Yeah, I did show up.
The next step is actually going in like a suit or something.
Yeah, let's be honest. I don't got no goddamn suit. A Hawaiian shirt is the nicest thing I have.
Right.
We're in the
second only to the McGregor shirt.
Yeah, but it was a very, very beautiful wedding. I was very emotional.
Really?
It was very nice when
Did he? He told me he was going to rap his vows. Did he rap his vows?
No, he had a very nice.
He did have a highlight rap video though. It was pretty impressive. He rapped to her. It was on a big TV screen out there, whatever. Like his proposal or something.
Is he a good rapper?
Yeah, he's awesome. It took me a minute to realize it was him. It was. Yeah, I got a little awkward at my table during the wedding at one point because I was telling Nazi jokes as I normally do, and then my girlfriend reminded me that it's a Jewish wedding and the people around us were probably Jewish.
What were some of the jokes you were telling?
Oh, I was talking about I told him about my when I first got my Roman eagle that ended up being a Nazi eagle, and I had no idea it was a Nazi eagle until I got it tattooed on me to cover my ex-wife's name, and how I had said it's not a big deal because all I did was cover up the name of one ruthless dictator with a symbol for another. And then I said, we got talking about how it was a Nazi eagle, and I said that people asked me when I fought in Poland if it was a Nazi eagle, and I was like, no. I said, I'm not a Nazi. I said, I do hate gypsies still, though. And I said, that's the one thing I have in common with Hitler, and I didn't realize that gypsy is a race in Poland. I thought it was a lifestyle, like hippies or...
Right.
Yeah, apparently it's a race, and so my agent called me and was like, hey, he actually texted me first. He said, I need you to do me a favor. Stop talking about Nazis and steroids, because I kept talking about... steroids. I was fighting Pujanowski. I kept saying his steroids were better than mine and things like that. And he got real upset about it. But I thought it was funny. But yeah, it got awkward when they were talking about the gypsies, because he said I was going to maybe have to apologize, or whatever, for saying the gypsy thing. But I literally thought gypsy was a lifestyle, not a race.
It's not really that clear. Tyson Fury's a gypsy, right?
Is he? I think I've heard that. I think he just called himself that, but maybe he is. I don't know.
Wow. So you were telling some jokes at your table?
Yeah, I had a few people laugh. We actually were at a table alone. My girlfriend and I were, and it was awesome because her name tag said Yabin, because he asked me what her name was, and I said it's Robin with a Y, and I told CB Yobin, and then didn't tell him that I was joking, or whatever. And so her name said Yabin, which was awesome. But yeah, it was it was a good time. I mean, it was really classy. I cannot imagine what that wedding must have cost, man. Like, I mean,
really,
I would. You think $50,000 at least? I would think, man.
Yeah, I mean, it was
at least.
It was very, very nice. It had like a fancy country club golf course.
Yeah, the food was, filet and some kind of real, like, doesn't matter what color the asparagus was, but it was white.
Right.
So it was really good.
Now, is it a thing for Jewish weddings to have the rabbis are they always like comedians?
No, the one that we had, because what happened with my wedding was, her pastor wouldn't marry us because I'm Jewish, and I was making jokes. We had to go through marriage counseling at their church, and I kept making jokes.
Right.
And then he refused to marry us.
Right.
I didn't realize that was even an option. So
Right.
we had to go off like Craigslist and got like a rabbi who thought it was open mic night, and he was trying to be my opening act and was making terrible jokes.
Yeah, that's what CB's rabbi. I mean, he was a good rabbi, but he was constantly making jokes throughout the ceremony.
Oh, my wife was so pissed because they said okay, grab her waist, and I'm like, okay, and then kind of like this area, and he's like, not her boob, or like not there. My wife's like, don't say that.
That's what this.
And then the guy did
too.
it. He said that was his go-to shtick, and my wife was furious, about that.
He told CB to put his hand on Ariana's heart.
Yeah, same here.
He's like, no, not there. That's for later.
Right, that's what he said. Yeah, I guess that's like the hacky rabbi joke that every rabbi has to do at the wedding. Meanwhile, so my baby is actually with her grandparents this week. And my wife's in New York. If you ever want to think you have free time, if you ever want to have kids and have them go away for a week, or a kid,
right.
Oh my God, I've been awake for 6 hours. It feels like I've had 9 years off already.
It's amazing, man.
Don't get me wrong, I miss my baby more than anything, but this is I'm like, wow, I get to go to the gym today, and I could watch the Karate Kid Part 2, and I could do 6 podcasts or whatever. It's amazing how much time you think you have, how much free time you have once your kids are away.
I like how your first thing to go to on a free day was watch Karate Kid 2, not Cobra Kai. You want to watch Karate Kid 2?
No, I meant the Cobra.
I know.
Cobra Kai. Yeah, right, exactly.
So I got Adam. He really loves Sato in that scene where he's chopping the wood on the beach with his hand.
That's right. That was a shitty one. So
what a bitter guy. Anyway,
my baby, by the way, can now crawl backwards, which I told her it's okay. I've been going backwards for the last 20 years as well. And then I've been going to this thing called Wiggle and Work. Because it's hard to get anything done with the kids. So they have this daycare where you take the kid and you could be there working in an office, and they give you offices you can watch.
Really?
And you can watch people play with your kid for $10 an hour.
That's awesome.
And they have this ball machine and this and that, and it's great because I feel like she's only 8 months, still too young to put her in a daycare.
Right.
Plus, I feel like she would feel that she's being abandoned.
Yeah, I don't like daycare, man. I'm never a fan of it.
But I told my therapist, I think that's my abandonment issues, that I was abandoned as a kid, that I'm now putting on my kid.
Right.
So I'm not sure if I have to work through that or not. But now me and my wife are also fighting through the baby. The other day, my wife and I were talking, and then the baby was there, and she was like, Violet, Daddy used to bang dirty porn stars and strippers or something.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, well, Mommy had a sugar daddy in college. And now we're fighting.
Right.
The kid's happy that we're talking to her, but I'm like, this can't be healthy.
Wow.
So yeah, anyway.
It's funny how you try to correct your mistakes or your parents' mistakes through your kid. Like my mom and dad never spanked us, so I beat my kids every day growing up.
Yeah.
Not really, but That would have been sad if so. But no, it's I got a few spankings coming up, and I almost never spank my kids. Like I think only once each their entire life. I always had the threat of it, but never.
Well, your hands are so big.
Yeah, never.
Massive hands.
I mean, you could spank your baby and like 4 other babies at the same time.
Well, I do that as often as I get a chance to also, but. People ask me, have you ever noticed my knuckles are permanently bruised?
Yeah, why is that?
Weird. I think it's from too much jerking off.
It's hard as fuck, dude.
Yeah, no, they've been that way since I beat up Jonathan Ivey before I got in the UFC, and they never went back. Like, it just stayed bruised forever. So.
I took a Muay Thai class. That's where I came from. I haven't even showered yet, sorry. I literally came from the class. But I was thinking about, like, you in that class. Like, how much Muay Thai training did you do?
No specific Muay Thai training. I just trained mainly boxing, wrestling, and jiu-jitsu because I never wanted to throw kicks because it's awfully kind of fancy. No, I'm just kidding.
Did you ever throw kicks?
I didn't like to. Maybe a low leg kick every now and then, but I didn't want to throw kicks because I didn't want to get taken down. I didn't want to get put on my back, so I figure if I could box stand up, I would just eat leg kicks and try to fire back with a right hand when they do that, and then. The Mariusz Pudzianowski leg kicked me in our fight the first time. I have a dent in my leg permanently from where he kicked me in my thigh. It's like a dent, shin-sized dent in my leg right above my knee. And so the first time he did it, I mean, it felt like a baseball bat hitting me. So I just waited for the next one, let him set it up, and then blasted him in his face on the next one. He didn't do it the rest of the fight. Like I just waited and ate it again and then hit him with the right hand.
How much boxing, sparring have you done in your life?
Man, I did a lot back when I first started, and then it got to a point where no one wanted to spar with me except professional boxers, and I didn't want to get it's bad when you're an MMA fighter and you go with pro boxers because they tend to they spar really hard and hit real hard, and you can beat them up in a real fight, but they're much better than you standing up. So they beat you up like standing up, and the whole time you're thinking, I could take this dude down and smash him, but they even get cocky sometimes when they're boxing or whatever with you, start doing stuff, and you got to tell them between rounds, like, hey, if you want to get cute, we can take the gloves off, turn into a real fight if you want. But I didn't want to get a concussion every day. Which is what happens when you train with those guys or with Matt Mitrione, because he'll head kick. Matt will head kick you when you're wrestling. Like, you don't even, doing jiu-jitsu, and he'll head kick you. Like, you never know what's coming. So that or Tim Sylvia, same thing, hit you too hard.
Wait, didn't you spar with Tim Sylvia?
All the time, yeah. We sparred probably 100 times together. And I mean, the first time we did, I ruptured my eardrum. He punched me. The air compression ruptured my eardrum. Broke my nose like the next time. It was bad news. He liked to jump in. Tim was bad about jumping in when you were tired, to be the fresh guy coming in, which is, I guess, was an old trick that I didn't know because I never did that to people. But you go with 2 rounds, 2 5-minute rounds, you're tired, like, hey, do one with me real quick, and then you're too exhausted to do anything.
Did you ever get the best of him sparring?
Man, not standing up, probably on the ground. The last time we sparred, it kind of turned into almost like a real fight for a second, and I just told him I didn't want to do it anymore because I didn't want to, we were friends, I didn't want to do that, and that's kind of what started happening with me and Matt, too. He'd leg kick you 30 times when you're sparring, or whatever, and it'd go 95%, on every kick, and you're not even wearing shin pads. Like, dude, come on, okay, you can land that. Let's move to something else, But maybe I was just a pussy. I don't know, man. But I couldn't see messing up my face or my brain for free, I'd rather do it for $500 in the UFC.
What belt were you in jiu-jitsu?
I stopped going. I was still just a 1-stripe white belt, and I stopped going because they wouldn't let me train. The place I was going wouldn't let me train without a gi. And then I just trained with the gi, but I would grab people's wrists and neck instead of their collar and sleeve, because when I would roll with guys after using a gi, I couldn't hold on to anybody. I didn't know what I was doing because it's so different. And they always say that rolling with a gi makes you better. I completely disagree, unless you wear it and the other person doesn't. So you're not used to having it, and maybe they can use it to make it harder for you to move. But when you get used to grabbing a sleeve and a collar, then you have to grab someone that's slippery, sweaty. It's nowhere near the same. So I would probably be a purple belt, I would say, if they were to, without the gi, were to grade me or classify me. But I was always big and strong and athletic enough that I could hang with at least brown belts and black belts, like heavyweights, if not submit them sometimes. Like I submitted a guy, one of the black belts that was out at Extreme Couture. It's not their main one, but one of the other coaches out there. I got him like 3 times in 5 minutes, and he couldn't believe it. He was like, dude, and it was the same Kimura that I got, hunt with, just from different positions. That was like my only submission, but I had really good grip strength. So once I got your wrist, it was hard, for guys.
We were talking about like Shaq's a brown belt or a black belt.
So he says.
But like, who's going to submit Shaq?
Yeah, it's going to be tough rolling with him, yeah.
I mean, is there anybody that could...
But I mean, a guy like Verdun would tool him, or whatever. But it would be tough for an average just jiu-jitsu guy. I mean, that size makes a big difference, man. But he'd be a little bit at disadvantage because how long his arms are too. Though it'd be easy to lock up an arm,
Oh yeah.
Or something like that. But yeah, we had Roy Hibbert used to train with us. He was a 7'2" guy that played for the Pacers.
Oh yeah.
So he would train a little bit with us. I didn't get to go with him, but I watched him a couple times with guys.
Everybody was like scared of him.
Yeah.
In the NBA.
Yeah, he trained some MMA. I don't know how good he was.
I saw saw him at a strip club one time.
Did you?
Yeah.
Sounds
like
about
4
right.
in the morning. I think it was like with Aljamain and like those guys. He was performing with them. Did you watch the fights over the weekend?
I did not.
Did you watch the fights?
Yes, because they're at the same time of CB Gold's wedding.
Yeah.
And I planned on watching them after the wedding because they were like still gonna be like the main card and everything. Because I left a little bit early, so I was like, I'm gonna go home, watch the fights, and then I get a call from my girlfriend. She's like, "You ready to hang out tonight?"
Ooh.
I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm getting ready right now." I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about? I gotta watch the fights."
All right.
So I ended up having to go out to dinner with her, go on a date instead of watching the fights. But
Hopefully she's a listener.
yeah, she's a big fan.
Well, the last time he talked about doing anal with her
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
trying to like have her put stuff up your butt, and, like, and dildos.
Things have escalated already. So
what
far.
happened?
I mean, it's probably nothing to Sean McCorkle, but,
Right.
He's been around.
Wait,
dude.
what? So what happened?
I ordered a bunch of bondage stuff off Amazon.
Right.
It's just a basic bondage kit and stuff. I'm interested. Some we're both interested. And also some vibrating stuff. Some stuff that goes in places.
And what happened?
It's handcuffs. We got handcuffs. We got foot cuffs. We got chains, whips.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So it's just very, very, it's very, very nerve wracking the first time you go into bondage. Thank you very much.
All right, go on.
I'm very, very shy.
All right, go on.
But things escalated quickly, dude. I got out the ropes and yeah, I'm so nervous.
All right, so go ahead.
I don't know what to say.
Okay, so you tied her up?
Yeah. Well, she went first, and then she got a little bit freaked out. She said coffee, which is our safe word, coffee.
Coffee?
Yeah, coffee.
All right.
And then I said, you know what? Don't worry about it. It's very nerve-wracking at first because if you're claustrophobic and you're chained
So you
up.
tied her up in the bed. Are her parents home?
No, this is at my place.
Are your parents home?
No.
Okay,
No,
so
not
you
at
tied
all,
her up
dude.
with a rope.
Yeah.
And she's naked?
Yeah, handcuffs and everything. But she got a little bit freaked out because I had her blindfolded too, and I was like whipping her with the whip in her back, like really hard, dude.
Right.
It's like a cheap little whip. It doesn't really hurt that bad. So I
Right.
was like whipping her super hard, dude. Was there blood? A little bit.
She's a white girl, right? I hope.
Wait,
Okay.
there was blood?
Yeah.
That's terrible.
I mean, it wasn't that much blood.
All right, so then what happened?
So then she said coffee. She was scared and everything. I guess I freaked her out, or no big deal.
Yeah.
And then I let her do it to me. I let her handcuff my legs and my feet are handcuffed to my hands, and I was on my back. And she started whipping me hard. I'm like,
Right.
I'm a little bit turned on. That's hot.
Yeah.
And then I got freaked out.
So you said coffee also?
Yeah, I said coffee too. So I mean, and I don't know how you deal with this or you deal with this when a girl is a squirter and you find out. Because my girlfriend is always when she comes, she
squirts. Yeah.
It's very, very intense.
Does she squirt
It's like-
coffee?
No, it's
All
like
right, go on.
it's like a full bladder
Yeah.
of urine, but it's not piss, right? I still don't know what squirt is. Do you know, Sean?
I'm pretty sure it's pee.
Is it?
That was the rumor I heard.
I don't think it is. 'Cause it doesn't smell like pee.
R. Kelly told me it was pee when I hung out with him that
Really?
night. No,
Okay,
really.
go on.
So let's just say I have to wash my sheets and my dad's sheets very thoroughly.
You did it on your dad's bed?
Yeah.
She squirted all over your dad's bed?
Yeah.
I'm sure he appreciated it.
Yeah.
And then then did you wash it before he slept in it or no?
I haven't washed his yet, but I washed mine.
So
I
he
think-
slept in your girlfriend's squirt?
Yeah, I mean, he's been gone all weekend, so I should probably wash when I get home. But
Yeah.
it's no big deal.
Well, it's kind of a big deal that your girlfriend squirted all over your dad's bed.
Yeah,
He might think it's a big deal. You want to hear the mistake I made?
What's the mistake you made?
We did the same type of thing, and I came up with like the safe word, but I chose the worst one ever. I chose boring. So I'm just kidding. I stole that joke.
Yeah, it wasn't harder?
Yeah.
All right, so that's crazy. All right, so then, so your girlfriend squirted all over your dad's bed.
I mean,
All right.
But I think the next venture we're going to go into is probably public fornication, public sex.
Really, why?
Because it's hot, dude. I mean, do I want to do it?
This
Not
girl
really.
was a virgin.
Yeah, she was a virgin, like over.
And now you're
just
already
under a year
into like
ago.
bondage,
Yeah.
dildos up her thing,
Yeah.
squirting,
Yeah.
and now you're gonna do public sex.
Yeah, I'm kind of shy because we all know I lost my virginity in public. It was in a car.
I didn't know that.
In the Bank of America parking
Some
lot.
girl hit him with a car. Got into a car accident, and he slept with her while she was still in a coma.
No.
Well, no, she wasn't. Okay, no, she wasn't still in a coma, but it was a little strange. He
Right.
slept with her minutes after she hit him with a car.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm sure you've had many public sexes.
Not really, no.
Sean?
No.
Because I don't want to get caught. Because I know if you get caught.
No, I just like to be on my dad's bed. It's always a little eerie now because he's dead. So I wonder if like this the ghost of my father's watching me.
All right, so wait. Well,
I mean,
so where are you
sex-
thinking of public?
I think it's good to start off in a car, even though it's kind of lame. It's not really public sex.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're in like a Costco.
I got caught in a car one time with a girl by a cop. That was the worst because she was so. It was in Florida, and then all of a sudden we're having sex on a light, just flying. I'm like, it was just, that was rough. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he joined in.
Right. I was going
Do you actually
beat
get
me
in
to it.
trouble, or is this like a warning?
He gave me a warning.
Oh.
Yeah.
How long was he watching you guys?
Well, he asked her like, "Are you okay?" or something, and she's like, "I'm fine." So that was like.
Oh, he didn't ask you if you were okay?
She said disappointed, but fine.
Yeah, that was the worst part about it was he was trying to be like that. You know, like if it wasn't for that, it would have been okay.
I mean, I'd like to do like a hike sex, like you go up to hike up a mountain or something, or you just hang on top of the
yeah, but
mountain.
LA, the people are hiking all the time. Why
Yeah.
not? Why not just skip the public sex for now?
I mean, I gotta just do it once, you know. But then once you do that, what's next? What's after that? What is because sexual fetishes and stuff.
have you guys thought about swinging already or no?
No, I mean my dad's a swinger. I mean,
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, with who?
I mean, I don't want to get too much in detail because he's like he works for a big company and stuff like that.
Right.
You know, pays for all my shit.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you know, I found out.
Works for Vivid.
Yeah, I mean, across the street from Vivid.
How did you find out?
Just from Facebook. He has like a swing. He's like the head of like a swinger like Facebook.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's
Did you join the group?
no, I mean, like when you see this about your parent, you get very, very like scared. You
No,
don't
but
wanna
things
know
are making
anything
a lot of
else about
sense now about you.
it. Yeah,
actually,
I mean, because my dad's a very like perverted sexual person.
You're kidding.
It would appear.
I'm serious, dude. It's very, very cringy too. My dad has ADHD.
Like what?
You know how you have ADHD?
Yeah.
My dad has ADHD too.
Yeah.
So he blurts things out without like really understanding what he's saying.
What does he blurt out?
Like in public, if there's like you know a hot waitress or something, like say something to himself, it's like very creepy. Or you'll see him like staring at a girl's ass or titties, and it's just like, dude.
Yeah.
He's a very over sexual person. I think that's maybe where I get mine, but I'm not as crazy as my dad.
When you said he had ADHD, I thought you meant maybe he got into some bizarre sexual act and then suddenly just lost interest and walked away.
Yeah.
He couldn't keep his interest for very long.
Now my girlfriend has said she's been interested in like a threesome is something that turns around like the idea, but
Yeah.
I know that could be very dangerous.
Very
grounds
dangerous,
with
yeah.
someone that you're in love with and you're in a relationship with. Like I'm trying to tell her that.
It's a terrible idea, by the way.
Yeah,
Terrible
very
idea.
bad. I don't want. I'd be so.
It's only good to have threesome people that you just met.
Yeah.
You heard about Adam's first threesome, right?
No.
He tried to set it up, but it was like the wrong ratio. It ended up being him and another guy and another guy.
Yeah.
It ended up
Are you
weird.
serious?
Yeah, we're still friends actually.
Right.
We have,
They weren't in a relationship yet,
No,
so
it
it worked
wasn't.
out.
Actually, though, that's kind of when I was in Florida, when I was in my early 20s, this girl that I had already slept with was a dancer in New Jersey, and I was my buddy who was like right out of Jersey Shore, Central Casting, and she liked him, and she liked me, and she's like, hey, do you guys want to do a threesome later? And I was trying to be like a good friend, so I'm like, all right. So like, the girls are going down on me, and then my buddy just like gets naked, and I just completely lost my like boner. Like
Right.
seeing your friend naked, and then watching him like go in her, I just like crawled up in like the fetal position and like just went into my bed and just like started crying. I was like, I'm
Yeah,
done.
dude, I
I
can't
like
do
completely.
that.
Yeah, it was
I
rough.
guess I'm like too jealous.
Yeah, you don't
Even
want to do
if
that.
I'm like,
You know what? Just you're 21.
Yeah.
Slow down.
Yeah, I gotta slow down.
Slow down.
Because I'm like already reaching the pinnacle.
Yeah,
of
you don't
sex.
want to. Let's just you and her have some normal sex for a while. Take it easy.
I don't even think we've had normal sex before. It's
Yeah.
always like been like right from the get go, anal first time. It's just like, and it's all my fault too. Because when you're so horny, you do.
By the way, Sean
'Cause you were like,
McCorkle
"Put it up my
is
ass."
just
Oh.
laughing back there, uncomfortable laughter. All right, so let's talk about some of the fights. Slow it down for a little
Okay,
bit. All right.
yeah, for sure.
All right, Jacare lost. He lost, which I was wrong. I think he overlooked him. I honestly think that he thought he was doing a favor to the UFC by taking the fight. The last guy that I knew that was when Bisping knocked out Rockhold.
Rockhold, yeah.
People in the UFC told me, Rockhold was like the whole time acting like he was doing us a favor.
Right.
You can't do that with a grown man who's a trained fighter at on par with your level. Have you ever overlooked anybody?
Yeah, almost every fight I lost for sure. No, I'd say probably the first fight I lost outside the UFC. I hurt my back, which is the back injury that still hurts to this day, about 3 weeks out, and I was going to pull out, but I was the main event, and they had sold 12,000 tickets to the event in El Paso, Texas. I couldn't believe I was the main event. Carl Parisian versus Thomas Denny was on the undercard, which was hilarious because.
Well, you know you're getting painkillers afterwards.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, from Caro. It's No, but yeah, I made a joke about that. I said my cardio disappeared faster than a bottle of Vicodin at Carl Parisian's house. Carl didn't like it, but
You told him that joke?
yeah, I was just that joke.
Did he laugh or
no?
no?
He didn't think it's funny. He came up to me after we did our first press thing. I mean, they had everybody there. Don Fry. They really spent some money bringing people in, and he goes, "Bro, I gotta ask you a question, bro." He goes, "Do you know who I am?" Like it was like I was the Ultimate Fighter or something again.
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "You know me, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "I'm co-main event." And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "You know Thomas Denny?" I said, "Yeah, I know who he is." He goes, "Who's the guy you're fighting?" I was like, "Just some guy. He's not a good like bro fighter, right?" I was like, "I mean, I don't know. He's 25-9." He goes, "But he's not famous." I was, "No." He goes, "So who the fuck are you, bro?" Like he just said it to me, being dead serious. I started laughing. He goes, "Come on. I mean, you're the main event." And he goes, "How are you the main event?" I'm Carl Parisi. I started cracking up. I said, "Dude, I don't know. I thought it was weird too."
Yeah.
When they did it, but I couldn't believe all the hate I got there.
What does he want from you?
I don't know. I think he was half joking, but half serious. Like he couldn't believe that he had to be the.
Yeah.
Because he is. I mean, I guess at one point was one of the best grapplers in the world. He gave. What is the guy, the Extreme Couture's head grappling coach, Neil Melanson?
Yeah.
I guess he gave him his black belt. I mean, that guy's really, really good. So that's how well respected Caro is.
Yeah.
And he actually taught me a judo throw I used in a street fight that was ridiculous at one point. Never been in a street fight in my life. But Caro showed me. I told him I couldn't take down like Division I wrestlers. I can't even. I said I'd clinch up with them. They always drop down for a double, take me down. I said I was trying to look for some judo to maybe help. He showed me this real strange toss where, like a lot of judo use their momentum against them, but he showed me this as a real complicated technique. So I drilled it like 1,000 times. First time I used it's against Jake O'Brien, who used to fight in the UFC, and flipped him in the air. Like he probably went like 8 feet and flipped him. And it's right as they get ready to shoot a takedown. You flip them, and it's partially like a hip toss. It's just crazy, and it worked. I only got him on a couple times. He learned it, and he stopped, rushing me. But fast forward a year or two, I'm outside this club, and I'm getting ready to leave for Miami the next night. I had to make an appearance or something in Miami, and this guy comes out. This club, this drunk guy, and I've got a friend there who's Saudi Arabian, this little dude, and one of my friends there is a cop, but he's not in uniform. And this guy comes out of the bar for no reason, says, "Why don't you go back to fucking Iraq, you fucking terrorist?" Like to my buddy for no reason, and embarrassed him right in front of his girlfriend. Like, really bad. And the guy's a little dude; he's not going to fight, He just kind of looked down, like embarrassed, because he's embarrassed enough being Arab and all that entails. No, but being people hating, a lot of them in the United States, especially in Indiana, he catches that all the time. And so this guy, he starts saying it to him. I told my friend's a cop, who's another little guy. I said, "Hey, would you tell that dude to stop?" I said, "I'm going to end up hitting him and going to jail, and I don't want to." And my friend goes over and said, "Man, don't do that. Just be nice." And the dude said, "Fuck you," and pushed him or whatever. So now I'm like turning into the guy you saw the night of the thing or whatever, with the other one. And so I walked over and said, "Why would you do that to him?" I said, "Why are you talking shit?" He goes, "Oh, you want some bitch like that or whatever?" And I was like, "Oh my God." And he came toward me, and as he did, I just reached out and grabbed him like Darth Vader. He used the force, but no, grabbed him around the throat like Darth Vader. He went to throw a punch, and I caught his wrist or whatever, pulled him toward me, and just out of habit, just from doing that toss, ended up pulling forward and then throwing him using a hip toss. And dude, I swear it was like something out of like the old A-Team when Mr. T would throw somebody or B.A. Baracus. He went probably 15 feet, hit a van, like slammed into a van that was parked on the side of the road, upside down in the air. He's flying through there, hits the van, slides down, smacks his head on the concrete. It was all in one motion. You hear a bunch of people say, "Holy shit," that are watching it. And then I was so mad, I went to soccer kicking like Pride rules. I was going to soccer kick him in his face because I was already past that point when he, tried to charge me. And so I went to soccer kick him. A bouncer and my cop friend grabbed me from behind. I just missed the soccer kick in the face, which probably would have killed him. So I'm really glad that it didn't happen. Just miss it. And then he gets up, his head is split open. Just pouring blood everywhere. And I turn around, there's a cop standing right there, like right next to me. But luckily he knew my cop friend. And he goes, "You guys need to get out of here," like said to us. And the guy stood up. He goes, "You're going to let him do that?" Just pouring. It's like he got stabbed in the head, just pouring blood everywhere.
Do you have with your heart beating fast?
Yeah, I was still mad. I was still trying to get to him, man. And so it's... I'm so mad about it just because I don't know. I hadn't had anybody confront me like that. And then plus, he insulted my friend. I was being nice. I hate fighting, but once you get me past that point, I wish I could have been that mad in any UFC fight. That would have been nice because it takes away all fear. But he starts saying something to the cop. He pushes the cop because the cop's not arresting me. The cop tases him. So my friend is like, "Let's go." As he's getting tased, I'm cracking up because he's bleeding. Now he's getting tased and falls to the ground. Me and my friend start going. His 3 friends that were with him start following us, and they're running their mouths to us. So when my friend's like, "Just leave us alone," and he says, leave him alone. And so the guys keep saying, yeah, McCorkle, you this, because they taken a picture with me. They knew who I was.
Yeah.
The guy that got tossed didn't, but they did. And they kept saying stuff to me. So I turned around and gave one of them one upside the head or whatever, dropped him. And then the other two took off running the opposite direction. Because, they followed us for 2 blocks just talking shit, and I'd had enough at that point. So I turned around, stroked one of them or whatever, and he fell. And then my friend's cop's like, you can't do this. We got to go. So we were like,
this is after the hunt fight or before the hunt fight?
This is after, like a year and a half, probably 2 years after.
So this is where were you like roided out?
Yeah, I was, maybe, yeah. But I was.
First time I met you, you told me you were on 18 different kinds of steroids.
Yeah, I was probably closer to like 15, but yeah.
It was like the opening line.
I was trying to get back to UFC.
And then I was like, don't you think that's kind of bad for you, like roid rage? Like, Adam, I'm the nicest guy in the world. And then something happened, and it was like the Incredible Hulk. You made a beeline.
I snapped that night.
I was like, holy fuck. And you were wearing like an Affliction shirt, like 10 years after Affliction was so cool.
That's what I always did, because I would always I was a guy wearing spandex after it wasn't cool anymore. You're probably too young to remember. Remember spandex were the thing? I would always do it after because I thought it was funny. Wear like an Ed Hardy shirt 5 years after people did it.
That's awesome. I love that. I never knew it was because you got it for free.
Yeah, they would send me stuff.
Or you were doing it because you were like, fuck everybody.
Yeah, I wanted to be the guy still wearing Affliction. I didn't wear it when it was popular. I wore it after it was because I thought it was, I don't know, I just like to irritate people. So, and if I'm going to be that guy, I might as well.
You always do things that like they take me a second and I have to think about them. Even when you're like, you like tell guys, like instead of going, how about I fuck your mother? You go, how about I fuck your father?
Right.
And I'm like, what is that? Like, why would you want to fuck someone's father?
I don't know. That will like just destroy your whole family.
That's a double whammy, because not only did I do it to your parent, but now your dad's gay. So it's like he's got to
have a boner in some guy's asshole.
Right. Well, hypothetically, but but I didn't actually do it to their dad. And I've had guys say all kind of stuff. I had a guy on the Twitter the other night. I said I did it to his dad, and he had no idea what to say back. He's like, dude, you're gay. Then I said, he's gay. I said, he's the one that took it. Yeah. I said, I was just taking advantage of the situation. And we got into it, like just kept going and going. And eventually the dude just gave up, like on Twitter.
You ever been to jail?
No, thank God, no. Almost repeatedly, but never officially. I've gotten out of it every time. So.
Mayhem still calls me like every week from jail.
Who does?
Mayhem Miller.
Oh, yeah. Is he still a mess, man?
He's doing much better. He's doing better than I think he's done in a while.
I thought that was all an act. Like I thought it was just for the movie, to promote the movie. When he started acting crazy, I thought that he was just trying to
here's one
get
of the
his name out
right?
there.
Like
man.
I talked to Mayhem, and he's like, he's reading a book a day. He's working out. He's doing like 700 push-ups, leading the workouts in the making everyone laugh at the jail. But then I'm like, hey, maybe we should record one of these for phone calls, because I'm like, I want to let everyone know
how he's doing.
And so I got this app that like records a phone call.
Right.
But then he tries to like turn it on, and he's like, "Oh, I want to make sure to give everyone a show." And
right. Yeah.
And I'm like, "No, man. Like that's not like.
Yeah.
This is the show, bro. Like you're enough as it is. You don't need to be who you think Mayhem Miller. You just be Jason Miller. Like,
right.
Like your life is.
It's interesting enough, yeah.
Yeah, like this is like the only part that's not interesting is when you're trying to do all this shit. But I don't know how to get that through to him.
Me and him had an online underground beef before I was a little bit famous, before I got to the UFC, because he had a video where he was like on Kimbo's nuts, like eating with him, like Kimbo's the greatest, this and that. And I was always trying to fight Kimbo back in the day when they were doing the bare knuckle stuff still.
Before Rich Gannon fought him?
Or Sean Gannon.
Sean Gannon, yeah.
Who's Rich Gannon? I know that name. He was a quarterback for the Oakland Raiders, I think.
Yeah.
I didn't know they fought.
Yeah.
But no, I was trying to fight him back then. They would never take it. They're like, well, he doesn't fight professional fighters. I said, obviously, or whatever. But that was back when I had some money. I told him, I'll bet you up to $250,000, like whatever. I said, he's not going to beat me in a fight, and they're like, well, it's stand up only. I said, even still, or whatever, and they would never do it.
You think you would have beaten him stand up?
I don't know. I just wanted to put it. I would have put the emails back and forth from his manager, like that icy Mike guy. I just post him on the underground. Like, looks like Kimbo turned down a fight with me just to try to get my name out there.
Right.
I told somebody my Josh Barnett story the other day. It was awesome. Back in the day, Josh Barnett. This guy hits me up that's a matchmaker, said, hey, Bart, they're looking for an opponent. And this is before the UFC. So I'm like 7-0, 8-0 at this point, but I've beaten nobody, right? Just a bunch of guys. My apologies to them, should they ever hear this, but guys that weren't any good. And they're looking for an opponent for Josh Barnett. You might call him out on the underground, see if if he requests you, they'll let him fight. He's a big deal in Japan. It's over for, not Pride, but I think Dream at the time or something he was with. And so I put on there, I said, Josh Barnett thinks he can put the cowl on me. I don't know if you ever remember the whole cowl thing on the Instagram. It's really funny, though. I came up with it. But so I put it on there, calling him out, right? Never think it's going to go anywhere. 2 hours later, somebody said, dude, Josh Barnett just responded. His 8th post ever, and he's had an account for 10 years. He was like, number one, dude, I don't know who you are. You know, I didn't ask you specifically for an opponent. If it's you, that's fine. If not, maybe we can meet up wherever. So I'm like, yeah, maybe we can. I respond back. I said, you got $250,000 cash you want to bet? Because I'll beat your ass. I said, we can film it, this and that. If you make I made the conditions so ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's got nothing to gain and everything to lose, right? He's not going to bet me $250,000 cash. Some undefeated heavyweight nobody knows anything about who's 7 or 8-0. And he was like, why don't we just wait till I said, oh, you're afraid to fight me? Because everybody's like, is Josh Barnett backing down from McCorkle, you know, or whatever, this and that, right? So I got my name out there a little bit. So years later, I get to the UFC. I get an email after I fought Struve. I'm
Was
going
it
to fight.
MySpace? You got a MySpace?
No, I never had some MySpace. No, this was actually on Facebook. I get a message from somebody. Its name's Josh Barnett, but he's got 250 friends, and it's got an emoji cartoon, just something weird, you know. And it doesn't look like I don't know. It just looked like some guy named Josh Barnett, and he was like, dude, first off, you know, I think you're hilarious. I saw your interviews. You cracked me up, this and that. And he said, if you ever want to train together, man, I'd love to show you some stuff. And I'm like, who is this guy? He's going to show me some stuff.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty confident, you know, for some just guy to hit me up. And he's like, I know you're fighting in Seattle. That's where I'm from. I can help you with your after party, anything you want to do, this and that. And I can introduce you to some sponsors, all this. And I'm like, yeah, do. I said, well, listen, I always like talking to my fans. Like, I messaged him back. Like, I appreciate him. I kind of like to train with my own team. And I already got an agent for the after party. So I appreciate it. And he's like, well, if you ever want to get together, I was like, yeah, man, we probably can. Just, you know, contact my agent, this and that, or whatever.
Wow.
Not knowing it's actually Josh Barnett. That's his personal page or whatever. So fast forward 2 months after that, I'm at a Affliction, oddly enough, after party in Vegas, and my agent hits me up. He goes, dude, are you here at this party? I said, yeah. He goes, well, Josh Barnett's here, and he hates your guts, so just watch out. And I was like, what is that? What do you mean he hates my guts? I said, from like 8 years ago when I called him out, I said, surely he knows that was a joke, you know? He goes, I don't know what happened, but he hates you. And so I was like, that's weird. Okay, so I'm looking around thinking I'm going to fight Josh Barnett all night in some club. So I have someone else. We have a mutual friend, like Mitrione knew him somehow. I said, Matt, ask him why he's mad at me. What did I do? And so Matt asked him, and he's like, yeah, he's a prick. I tried to offer to help him, this and that. And then I realized it
was Josh Barnett.
Yeah, Josh Barnett. Like, I was like, oh my gosh. So I sent him a message. I was like, dude, I had no idea it was you. He goes, yeah, you didn't know it was Josh Barnett. I said, it didn't look like your page. I said, I thought it was just some imposter or somebody wanted to, you know, because there's people who are like Kevin McGregor, like they try to make their page look like Conor McGregor, you know, or whatever. I said, I didn't know. And so he finally believed me. So we're friends now, but it was,
he's a good
hilarious.
Dude. He told me that like back when he couldn't find training partners, he would just challenge people to fight like at the local YMCA, and they'd be in like the weight room, and kids would be like swimming, have classes upstairs. You'd see like two huge guys fighting.
Right. It seems right.
It's crazy.
I saw him at the fight you were talking about, Luke Rockhold, Michael Bisping. I was at that one, and that's where I saw that's where I saw Tommy Lee from Motley Crue. So he's in the VIP area getting a drink, and I came up to him, and we were talking about him earlier off air. Not that anyone knows listening to this, but I was like, dude, I got to tell you, I loved you in the movie The Fugitive. I said that scene when you were going down in the sewers with him.
Hilarious.
We're after Harrison Ford. That was awesome. He's like, rock on, bro. Like, he had no idea what I was talking about. He's like, rock on, bro, and gave me like the fist bump or whatever. Like, and so I don't know. I thought it was funny.
So, all right, other fights. So, Greg Hardy had a fight this weekend.
Co-main event, dude.
The co-main event.
I didn't see it.
They found a guy who might have been the worst fighter I've ever seen in my life.
Really?
I make CM Punk look like Mayweather.
Yeah.
You know, he went out there, and everyone thought it was a fix.
Right.
Like, he just kept trying to shoot doubles.
Looked like it.
But
right. Waiting for the uppercut.
But like head down.
Right.
Like almost like he was trying to like a bad football tackle.
Right.
And even Dana at the press conference was like 9-3. I gotta find the 9 guys this guy beat.
Holy shit.
He goes, some of them are probably in this room.
Right.
Like he was like, he's like, I can understand why people would think that was a fake fight.
That's awesome.
But if you look at the guys he beat, they were like 0-4, 1-3. Maybe they were like part of the Explode fight.
So he did what I did before he got in the UFC.
Is that what I mean?
I fought a bunch of guys that had losing records because I thought 10-0 is 10-0 no matter who you beat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whatever. So if it gets me a shot.
Well, he was 0-2 in the UFC, but I guess they were like former training partners that have the same manager.
Right. Yeah.
So maybe that's what happened. But that's crazy that they'd be able to kind of put that scam all the way up to the like. I could see that happening on like the undercard or something.
Yeah. Did you see Hardy said that he's like the Michael Jordan of the UFC? Like he's got that much potential. He actually said that. It's a headline. He said, I'm like the Michael Jordan of the UFC. I have the potential to be, like the greatest ever. And I kind of took offense to that because he took like my line. I always said I was the Michael Jordan of having my father murdered at a highway rest stop.
Oh, God.
So
God.
that's how Michael Jordan's dad died. You're too young probably to know.
Yeah,
over a gambling debt, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Of Mike.
I mean,
Michael
this
Jordan's.
guy made like Bob Sapp's fights look real.
Oh, man.
That's how bad it was. John Lineker, Sandhagen, that was a good fight.
Yeah, I'm actually in the middle of watching that fight right now. So if people who are like me, if you miss a lot of the fights, there's a website called MMA Share.
Let's not promote.
No, it's just
Right.
it's legal. It's just they post like the fights after they've aired, so you just watch them all. So that's what I use. But yeah, it was a fun fight, Corey Sandhagen.
Can you imagine how funny he would have thought that Michael Jordan joke was if he would have known that Michael Jordan's
I don't
father
know
was
anything
murdered at a
about
highway
basketball.
rest stop? Okay.
Of course. It's just to talk about dildos up asses.
Right.
Yeah, then you got my attention.
Now, I'll tell you though, it seems like Lineker is one of those guys. If he can't get you out in the first round, you can beat him.
So he's also like me.
Is that?
That's how I was. I had about 4 minutes to beat you,
Really?
and then it was over. Yeah, it was too much stress, man, and too much. I don't know. I don't know. I'd make a lot of mistakes. Didn't warm up right, and I always like crowds would boo. It seemed like my fights, if you didn't. I saw Anderson Silva circle with Vitor Belfort one time for 4 minutes before the first punch was thrown. Not a boo in the audience. Like I fight Christian Moorcraft in Seattle. There were 3 seconds of inactivity, and the place is ready to throw us out, or whatever. Like at some point, he knees me in the balls 3 times in a row. Like I fall down, I hold my nuts for a second. I stand up 30 seconds later. The ref's like, "You ready?" I was like, "Dude, give me a second." I just got knee in the balls, and then everybody starts booing me. And like I'm looking around, like you guys are. I just got knee in the balls. You ever had that happen? Yeah. And I was going to at the time. I was going to give the double bird to the camera so it would show on the big screen to the crowd because then everybody would really boo me.
Yeah.
But I was afraid it was on TV. I thought so. I was like, I don't.
Nobody
if I do
got
that, they're gonna
kicked in the balls like what's his name? Brock's training partner, Chris Terscherer.
Oh, did he? I didn't see it.
He would never win, and he always got kicked in the balls.
Right.
Every one of his fights.
Did you see Matt rupture? What's his name's testicles last fight? Mitrione. That was brutal, man.
Yeah. Carlos Esparza won. Happy for her. Happy for Angela Hill, which I made a joke about. She's come a long way since losing to Kron Gracie because she looks a little bit like Bruce Leroy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the hair. But anyway, and Glover Teixeira, he won. He beat this guy Kudalabra. And he was getting the first, the ref had no control over it. There was low blows. There was all kinds of crazy stuff going on. Back in the head punches, and then Glover had that old man strength. He kind of reminds me of the guy you used to train with a little bit.
Tom Erickson.
Yeah.
He's the real world's strongest man. You've never seen anything like that guy, man.
The
Unbelievable.
Cat.
Yeah, they're I was gonna say Tomcat because Tom. No, what is it?
The Barn Cat, right?
No, was it the Barn Cat?
Isn't it the Barn Cat?
No, the Big Cat.
The Big
the Big Cat. Yeah.
So it was
I don't know who was the Barn Cat, but it wasn't him. Who's the Big Cat? Tom Erickson.
No, Tom Erickson knocked out, rest in peace, Kevin Randleman.
Yeah.
In a fight.
About killed him that time, man.
I couldn't believe
they were best friends at that time too. I told Tom, I said, "You knew him at the time?" Because we were friends. I said, "Dude, you went after the finish after he was obviously completely out. You still blasted him 3 or 4 times on the face on the ground." He was like, "Hey, it's just the name of the game." I was like, "To give you an idea how fun it is to train with Tom." He submitted me with a guillotine by my face one time.
Really?
Like he couldn't get underneath my neck, so he just picked me up with the blade of his wrist by my face in a guillotine and lifted me off the ground. About ruptured every disc in my neck, man.
People say if he hadn't got hurt, he would have been one of the best ever.
Oh man, he was unreal. Fedor would never fight him back in the day. He tried to take that fight several times, but people don't understand when he was fighting, he wasn't training at all. Japan likes to call you on a week's notice and say they called me on 30 hours notice. I fought Satoshi Ishii on 30 hours notice, and I mean I was in the ring fighting 30 hours after I got the phone call. And then they stuck me. They were going to pay me 25 grand. They only gave me 15. And then suddenly they didn't speak English anymore when I asked for my other $10,000, where suddenly they speak no English at all. I'm like, no, you owe me 25. It's like, Misha Bawa. I was like, no, that's not, no, $10,000. Later, we do later. I was like, no, now.
Didn't he lose to Heath Herring? That was a...
Yeah, flying knee. He was shooting a takedown and Herring threw a flying knee and...
Heath Herring is one of the biggest human beings I've ever...
He's out of control,
he's
man.
Huge.
He was an entertaining fighter. Man, I hated to see him. I guess he quit fighting. He said he just wasn't going to do it for what they were paying him, man. That's what I had heard, that he said he just wasn't doing it for 40 grand or whatever, with as much as he was bringing in and many fans he had, which I understand.
I once, at the MMA Awards, was trying to pick up a girl, and I got rejected, and Heath Herring is like, aha, her laughing in my face.
Right.
I'm like, thanks, dude. It's bad enough you're 8 times the size of me.
Right.
What am I going to do to Heath Herring?
Yeah.
But he's so big, and then you, think that Brock made him look small.
Right, yeah. That was brutal, man. Jake O'Brien, my friend, that was his 3rd fight in the UFC, and he beat him, and we thought that was the biggest deal ever for a guy from Indianapolis, a little unknown guy, to beat Heath Herring. And then I beat Mark Hunt, and that kind of made that look like shit. So
yeah,
I like to throw that
what
in as much
as O'Brien?
Man, he just got tired of it, I think. They had him fight in succession. He fought Jon Jones, Andrei Arlovski. They were trying to get rid of him because his fights were boring. Everybody online was calling him Jake O'Boring. They were calling him the wet blanket and stuff. I mean, they were coming up with new inventive names for him all the time. He's just a real good wrestler with great takedowns. he would do the same thing Tito Ortiz does, but he wouldn't talk all the trash and stuff. So it was like, I mean, he's very similar to Tito, fight style. But they just did. They said he was boring, so they did everything they could to get him beat and ruin his career 3 or 4 times. I mean, if you look at the run of guys he had, I know it was Jon Jones, Arlovski. He fought like 4 of the best fighters in the world, like back to back to back, and then they just got rid of him, like dropped him. And he went over and lost, took a fight on 10 days' notice with, who's the guy just signed with Bellator? Oh, Musasi. Took a fight with him on 10 days' notice, and they want him to weigh 205, and he was 245 at the time. And he said, or no, he was like 255, and they want him to weigh, 245, they want him to weigh 185 for the fight. And he said, I don't think I can make 60 pounds. He said, like in 10 days. I said, well, just get as close as you can. So he drops 35 or 40 in 10 days. He's within 18 pounds. The doctor says he can't cut anymore. So then Japan paid him 10,000 of the 40,000 he was supposed to get. Because they said, you didn't make weight, we're only giving you 10,000. So
he just said, fuck it.
Yeah, and he said I would have never even took the fight for 10 grand, or whatever. He said he flew his girlfriend over with him, all this stuff, for 2 grand. And, but yeah, he's supposed to be getting 40. They paid him 10. They said that because the fight, he shot a takedown. The guy, Musasi, got him in a guillotine and submitted him, I think 45 seconds in. They said you didn't make weight, and the fight wasn't much of a fight, so we're only giving you 10. So they're good about that. Japan's really good at it. They called me after they stuck me for 10, want to know if I want to fight Hongman Choi for $5,000 in Korea or South Korea. And I was like, so you owe me 10? You want to know if I want to fight for 5? And I said, send me the 10. And I'll come fight him for 5. And then I wasn't going to fight him. Like, I just wasn't going to show. And they wouldn't do it. I think they knew. I said, send me the 10 you owe me, and I'll take that fight for 5. But,
I remember when he fought Jose Canseco.
Yeah, that was awesome,
Canseco,
man.
it was like, came in with like a girl, like his wife.
Right.
And like a baseball bat, like walking to the cage.
That was awesome.
And like spandex. So Mike Perry fought this guy, what's his name?
Mexican cowboy, Alex Oliveira.
Yeah, and Cowboy's dancing on the way in, and Perry starts dancing to his song,
right?
Like in the octagon, and Perry won, but like the Cowboy had the worst game plan. You're never gonna beat Mike Perry if you stand in the middle of the cage and trade punches.
No,
he has the
never.
hardest head ever. Like Alan Juban laid out the perfect blueprint for beating a guy like Mike Perry. But guys are like, no, I want to get into a tough man.
Right.
He's always going to win that.
Always. He ain't going to stop throwing, man. I saw him fight in Florida. It was so funny. There was a guy down there. I don't want to say his name because Mike might attack him. But he goes, dude, you got to meet this kid, Mike Perry. After this fight, you got to meet him. I said, okay. He goes, he believes it. And I was like, what does that mean? He goes, he just believes it. And I was like, believes it? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, okay. So I didn't really know what he meant. So I'm talking to Mike after. He's like, I'm the best in the world. Like, he's like, tell this and that. When I started laughing, I was like, that's what he means. Like, he really believes it. Like, he really, like, unbelievable confidence, or whatever. I was like, he does believe it, or whatever. But that's what he was saying. But he was saying he was going to be really good. He'd seen him box some or whatever. He said, if guys stand trade with him, good luck, man. Because he does. He's got a lot of pride, a lot of balls, and a hard head, man. So
hard head. You watch Bellator? Bellator?
I didn't, but I lost some money on it.
So Rory McDonald is the strangest guy in the planet, right? So he has a draw with John Fitch. I thought he won that fight.
You thought McDonald won? Because I bet on Fitch. I figured at 4-1, Fitch was worth the bet.
It was worth the bet, and Fitch hung in there, but the rounds that Rory won, he won bigger. And I think he won 3 out of 5. I'm pretty sure he did. Fitch but it was, he won. But Fitch made it close.
Right.
But they said split decision. I'm like, oh, it's a split Rory. But then afterwards, Rory starts saying, God spoke to me. I don't have this in me anymore.
Did he really?
I don't want to hurt other men. I don't know if I can do it.
Really?
It was like he became like a Sunday, like he found Jesus.
Right.
And I'm like, man. And then he's fighting Gracie next, Neiman Gracie.
Yeah.
And they brought him in there. It was just strange. It was
unless I can't imagine him trying to pull a game plan. But I'll tell you what, if you feel like that, because I got the same way toward the end of mine, and I was like, I got to quit fighting because I would find myself trying to submit guys instead of. Like, I'd have a chance to blast him in the face on the ground, and I would like, I don't want to hurt this dude, you know what I mean, or whatever, and try to submit him. And I started thinking that you're in the wrong business if you don't want to hurt people, man. Fedor, toward the end of his career, he's still fighting, but the first time he retired, they asked him why he didn't ground and pound against a certain opponent. He said there's more humane ways to win than punching people in the face. When you're thinking that way, dude, you might as well forget, because that other dude will murder you if he gets the chance. Like that's what my dad used to always say to me. He kept saying, you got to remember, it's not a game. I was like, I know, Dad, but he'd notice I was taking it easier on guys, or whatever, and he was like, that, the other guy would kill you if it meant winning. Or whatever, he would end your life. He said, you can't be, nice to guys. And I was like, yeah, and that's when man. It's has he had kids recently or something? Because when you have kids, it'll do it to you too, man. You get kids, you start like, I don't know, something about it softens you. I had a big Brazilian fighter I was managing.
Except for Cowboy Cerrone.
Right,
He goes the other way.
Did you ever see his story about almost dying cave diving? And he still does it. Can you believe that, dude? That would scare me out of cave diving. That scared me listening to it.
It scared me too, but like I feel like I've almost died in certain car accidents. And
right.
I'm like, man, how come he's much more detailed in his almost dying thing?
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, man, he's a lot. I don't know. He paints tells a lot better story than I do.
Yeah, that was horrifying sounding, man. I'm real claustrophobic though, so maybe that was part of it too.
So Ben Henderson looked great. Henderson won. Alima McFarlane, that was a good fight, and it was close, and then she hit an elbow that split the girl's head.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just like...
There was a lot of blood.
everywhere.
Yeah.
And it was like that new blood. Just like that bright red. Yeah. It almost looked fake.
The non-EPO blood.
Have you ever had blood on your face like that?
I had blood in my mouth just pouring one time, and I was like, God, I hope that's mine. And turned out it was the other guy. And this is before the blood testing days. The guy was real. He looked like a Harley Davidson rider.
Magic Johnson? Or?
No, it was awesome. Although I did get so sick like 2 weeks ago, I told somebody that I think I was going to break Magic Johnson's like 20-some-year-old record for worst disease reception in a single season.
It's unbelievable. I like how healthy he is.
Yeah, that's what money will do for you, man. I guess it's amazing.
So and I'm so happy, by the way, for Phil Davis. Phil Davis won.
He's on fire, dude.
Dude, he beat Liam McCary, and
I lost money on that one too.
And Phil, started off as a kickboxer again. I'm like, no, stop it. Please go to wrestling. He tired, was winning the kickboxing exchanges, then took him down. And just did great. I'm super happy for Phil.
He's a nice guy, man.
Real nice guy.
Yeah, I hung out with him in Vegas some. He was a really nice guy.
Yeah, and almost like you can't believe he's a fighter.
Right, yeah. He's jolly almost.
Yeah, like a jolly, right,
yeah.
Exactly. So I was super happy about that. And now let's talk about the fights coming up this weekend. More fights this weekend, right?
I think so. I'm not sure.
Really?
No.
By the way, who do you think's doing, Chael or Machida?
God, I would say I hope Chael wins, but probably Machida.
It's hard to root for Chael these days because like his past few fights in Bellator have been super suspect.
Yeah,
it's very, very strange watching him fight these days, dude. I love Chael. He's one of my favorite people in the sport.
Yeah, when he went for that weird roll against Fedor.
Yeah, that was odd. That was an odd choice.
Is he just doing it for fun now, or is he just like?
I think, man. I honestly think some guys. I've known guys that fight like that. They sometimes have like almost like the ADHD during a fight, like they just lose like track of what they're trying to do. They just do something weird, man. Like there was a guy I saw one time. He tried to pull a double knee bar. He tried to roll once and didn't get it. Jumped up and did another dive roll. And the guy Ken Shamrock was 10 feet from him. Like the guy was just staring at him. Like it's like, what are you doing? That's a highlight all over the internet. But.
So at ONE FC this Friday night, Yushin Okami's fighting. I didn't know he was in ONE FC.
Yeah.
He's fighting Kimran. By the way, you see that the Iranian Hulk started fighting?
I saw he was going to, yeah.
Dude, how can he even punch? How can he possibly even like physically throw a punch?
Greg Wilson said his move is going to be the windmill. He just keeps But like, what is that? What's going on there?
I think the strongman contests don't pay anything anymore, and so I think there are a lot of guys who are looking to get into fighting.
But I mean, there's no way that guy has not taken steroids.
Oh yeah, no.
There's straight HGH, dude, human growth hormone.
It's not even like he's ripped. He's just like, I mean, would you fight him?
Yeah, I mean, not now. I wouldn't with my back, but before I would have. I fought Pujanowski, who a lot of people say is the strongest man that ever lived, till I beat him and declared myself the new strongest man who ever lived. But it's amazing because their strength doesn't really translate nearly as well as you would think it would in fighting. Like, I mean, obviously he was strong, but he wasn't as strong as Tom Erickson, like we were saying in a fight. Like he didn't feel nearly as strong as him because we know how to apply that weight. It's a lot. It's a whole different world.
In wrestling, you see it all the time. I remember going to wrestling camp and they were like, doing an impression of bodybuilders, like, hey, they're all jacked. Like, what was your record this year? 4-4.
Right.
And then you, like, 5-6. This doesn't necessarily.
Doesn't matter.
So Invicta's having this Friday night it's a tournament where 8 girls, one night tournament.
Really?
In Invicta. And some girls that we know are in it. First of all, Caitlin Curran. She's 4-6, but she's a hot Hawaiian. Smoking hot. She's got tattoos on her boobs. That's the only thing I don't like.
Right.
I've never been. I don't know. I like when girls have sleeves or a tattoo on their certain places, but on their chest is always like eh. But anyway, so she's fighting Suna something. Danielle Taylor, she's the one who, remember she kept winning in the UFC, a little short
She's
black
like
girl.
4 foot tall, yeah.
Yeah, but she's like, she can box. She's in
Oh,
it.
the UFC cutter? Oh, yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Damn, dude. She's fun to watch.
Sharon Jacobson, who's in the military, she's in it. She's fighting Mizuki Inoue. Amber Brown, she's been on the podcast. She's fighting. Yeah, so there's a bunch of girls. They're going to fight all in one night. That's awesome. And then in the Bellator this week, Brent Prius, you know him?
Do not.
He's good. He's fighting Tim Wilde. Derek Campos, you know him?
No.
Fabian Edwards, he's from England. He's good. Yes, I guess that's in England. Where is that? That's in Bellator is in England. Yeah. UFC this week: Al Iaquinta versus Donald Cerrone.
It should be a really good one. Man.
Ooh, I don't know who wins this fight.
How can you not love Al, man? That dude is awesome. Like, if you watch his interviews, man, he cracks me up.
All right, let's break this fight down. You got to go in kickboxing, Cerrone, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
In jiu-jitsu,
I think also
Cerrone.
Yeah.
In wrestling, Al.
Right.
In toughness,
I got to say Al.
I got to say Al. I mean, we've seen Cerrone break.
Yeah, you're not going to break. If Al didn't break against Khabib, he's not going to break.
He's never broke ever.
No, ever. He's got that rage, too. That I guess it's its nickname. But
Al, dude.
plus, he's a realtor, so, like, I don't know how that plays into it, but he's a real estate agent also.
So who are we picking?
I'd say Al.
Yeah, I mean, but also look at who Cerrone just beat. Alex Hernandez. He was a super
And Mike Perry before that.
Dude. Yeah, dude.
I love seeing that when the young guys come up and think they're going to beat the old guy and talk a bunch of shit or whatever. I was so happy when Cerrone
me
beat that
too.
guy. I
It's
was
just
like,
hard to bet against him.
What about when
Yeah.
what's name did that with your boy? Did that against
Anders?
Nogueira? No, Nogueira against the guy that you said wrestled in college that the coach let him not even wrestle.
oh yeah, Dave Herman. Yeah, he said
Herman?
jiu-jitsu didn't work, and everything. Like he's
Yeah.
like, yep. And Nogueira put it on him, armbarred him no less because he said jiu-jitsu didn't work
In Brazil.
Yeah, that
and
was
you can
awesome.
see Herman go, oh, fuck.
Yeah, he was so embarrassed because he was saying he had never been submitted. I don't think before that, and he's really hard to submit. He's a real good wrestler, real good defensive
You ever train
wrestler.
with
So yeah, a lot. Well, when you get him to train, you could never get him to train ever. I would drive down to Bloomington, which is IU, where his school was at. I would go down there, Indiana University, for those of you not from Indiana, but I would go down there and pick him up to train. Drive an hour down, drive an hour back up, and he would hit the speed bag for 3 rounds and want to go home.
Really?
And I was like, dude, I drove all the way down here to get you, and I got to bring you back. You're supposed to train with me. He's like, you're too big, man. I'm not doing that. That stuff's. I'd be like, can you spar a little bit? No, man, I'm not trying to get hit. And I'd be
He
like,
didn't know that you were big before you came and got him?
no, he knew, but yeah, he thought I just wanted him to train. Like, he didn't know. Like, I didn't want to go with you. I thought you meant just train.
What is it
And I
with
was
you,
like,
you and your friends? Like, because you're
Yeah.
like the nicest guy,
Yeah.
but I feel like a lot of people take advantage of you.
Always, yeah.
Like
I'm always
Matt
the dude.
Mitrione, you flew to Vegas to train with
Yeah,
him?
I put 5 days in Vegas. Matt said he'd pay for my flight, hotel, food, everything. If I come out and help him get ready. Did not see him one time the 5 days I was in Vegas. He was supposed to pick me up the first day outside because all of a sudden the hotel room, he didn't have it when I got there. And then I'm like,
But where was he training while you were there?
Couture's. And so he was like, hey, he said, I'll be there in 10 minutes to pick you up. I was like, dude, you got to give me at least 15. I got to get down to I didn't know you were coming. You called me. So I'm at the Wynn Casino. I come down, I stand out there for about 45 minutes. He never comes. Finally texts me, hey, just catch a cab to come here. I said, dude, I'm not paying $100 for a cab all the way to Couture's from the Wynn. The Wynn's all the way down the other end.
Yeah.
He goes, we'll just do it tomorrow. Don't hear from him the next day. Don't hear from him the next day. Don't hear from him the next day. I leave out on Friday. Friday, as I'm getting ready to get on the plane, he's like, hey, you want to work out today? I said, dude, I'm going back home. Like, I've been here for 5 days. I haven't seen you. I'm in $1,200 on a hotel room and food. You know what I mean? Like,
But no, was he part of a class or he was?
no, just Matt kind of does his own thing, man, on training. He's very unorthodox when it comes to training. He might stay in Indianapolis and just train with some local dudes that aren't even fighters, or he might go out and train with, may go to Holland and train over there with some of the best kickboxers in the world. You never know what he's
wrestling's
doing.
really good, right?
Matt, no, that's actually the weakest part of his game.
So,
yeah.
like, did you expect that to happen with Bader?
I thought Matt could catch him standing up. I didn't know if Bader, being a smaller guy, he's not that small, but he's not as big as a lot of the guys Matt's used to fighting. So I figured if Bader got him down, it'd be a problem because Bader's got such good top control. But yeah, I thought it would be less one-sided than it was for sure. But Matt it's weird. He was defensive tackle in the NFL for 5 or 6 years. You would think his wrestling would be really good. I mean, that's what you're basically doing, wrestling against guys, But he picks up striking super fast. They can show him something 2 or 3 times, and he's got it. But he's always just struggled with wrestling. His jiu-jitsu's not even bad now. I mean, he's learning. He works with really good guys, but yeah, his wrestling is just never. It may be because he just likes to fight standing up instead, and doesn't really want to wrestle. But yeah, if he could get his defensive wrestling a little bit better, he would. he'd be a lot better, man. But I could never pick up striking. We kind of were the opposite. I could pick up ground fighting and wrestling really easy. Couldn't strike to save my life.
I think
and he was the opposite.
To pick up striking than wrestling, though.
Yeah. It's hard, man. Some people just don't have it, man.
So Derek Brunson's taking on Elias Theodorou.
Good fight, dude.
Elias is one of those guys that he's like that Sam Alvey, Elias Theodorou, Clay Guida, where you can't look good against these guys.
Right.
They just somehow that old guy from Australia that has like 2 broken legs but wins beat Rashad Evans. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
I do. I can't remember his name though.
That guy's like 80 years old. He's like Olympian from Australia.
Like Dan something.
Yeah, Dan Kelly, his name.
Yeah, Kelly. Dan Kelly. I don't know. That sounds about right.
Yeah. But that guy.
No, I gotta look it up.
But aren't there certain guys that just like they don't have a really good style, but they just
grind it
and they win.
They grind out the dub.
But Derek Brunson, when he fights smart, can beat anybody.
Yeah.
He just doesn't always fight smart.
I think in his last fight against what's his name, Israel Adesanya, he was just like fired up. He just wanted to go in there and knock this kid out. But I think he just got overzealous, and I think he knows the mistakes he made in the last fight. So I think he's going to be a lot smarter, maybe a bit more hesitant.
I think it's Dan Kelly.
Is it? Yeah, I was curious. Did you guys think on that the style bender guy? Did you think I thought that was probably the best fight I've ever seen, if not one of the top 2 against. What's his name? Gaslam? Yeah, I thought that. I was watching that fight, and even people at my house that don't usually watch fights were just amazed by it, or whatever. Like, man, this is awesome. But it was that was an awesome fight.
So
man.
what were you saying about that fight?
About which one?
About Stylebender versus Kelvin.
Oh no, I was just saying that I was just making something up. No, I was just saying that I was rooting for
Kelvin, right?
Yeah. During that one, I lost money on that one. Also, I lost money on a lot of fights, but I think
he made money on any fights or not?
Yeah, I usually make money, man, on I usually underdogs because you can't bet on favorites. Good luck ever, you know.
Do you do the parlays? Or?
Yeah, that's usually why I make my money. Do 2 or 3 fight parlays because I can normally pick. There's some fights I know who's going to win, you know, or whatever. And like for example, when Khabib was fighting Conor, I knew there was no chance. Everybody, you know, and I know that Conor's got so many fans, you know, or whatever. They're gonna tip the scales on the betting lines. So I did the same thing when he fought Floyd Mayweather, parlay it with a couple other fights I know that are going to go a certain way, and then it pays 5-6 to 1, put a couple $100 on it, make $1,200 or $2,000, you know. So that's what I typically like to do, or bet NBA games live.
Nice.
I had to stop betting because it makes me like angry at the fighters.
Yeah, it does, man.
I'm down to like, all right, I've got 5 fights that won. I'm about to win like $800, and then like somebody will fight who's a favorite, and then just like do something stupid and lose.
I would just feel really bad if I bet against somebody and then they won, and they come on the podcast and then they were my friend. I'm like, oh, I'm so happy you won.
Yeah.
Like I thought they were gonna lose. Yeah. I even feel bad when people hit me up. They go, who's gonna win? And like I'll tell them who I think's gonna win. And a lot of times it's like my friend I think's gonna lose, but but then my friend wins, then I feel like a dick.
Right.
Congratulating them.
That's what I had a friend bet against me when I fought Mark Hunt. He bet $5,000 against me and didn't tell me. And it was the talk of the town after I won or whatever, because everybody's like, you know, he bet $5,000 against you because he got even money with people that we were fighting. I guess Hunt was on supposedly a 3 or 4 to 1 favorite, you know, going in. So he's like, if I can get even money, you guys are crazy. So everybody was. It was funny. He fought in the UFC. They called him the Hater Herder. That was his nickname, Johnny Reese, and he bet $5,000 against me. And they try to say that does he have to kill himself now? He has to hurt himself because he was basically being a hater by, you know, betting against his friend, you know, or whatever. I've had fights I thought Matt was going to lose because I knew that Mitch Cerrone wasn't necessarily training or he had personal problems or whatever, and I thought he was going to lose. But I could never bet against him man, because then I'm rooting against my friend to, you know,
you can't
want him to lose. Would never do it.
So all right, also on this card, Cub Swanson is taking on Shane Burgos. I hope Cub wins. Cub needs to win.
Shane Burgos 11-1. I don't even know if I've seen this dude fight
He's
before.
good. He's from Long Island. Tough kid. Really tough kid. He like knocks people out cold.
Yeah.
Cub's got to win.
Who did Cub just fight?
There's a guy who just had twins.
Cub did?
Yeah. With what's her name? Beautiful girl, nice girl too. She used to work for Pride. Do those Pride shows, Best of Pride.
I thought you were going to say the announcer. I was like,
She
I hope you
kinda
didn't. No, I meant like a lady that screamed out.
Lady,
yeah.
What's her name? Beautiful girl. Anyway,
I don't have any idea.
You know who she is.
Is he coming off of a loss, Cub Swans?
Yeah, I think he's coming off like 2 losses. I was there. I think he lost to Hanato.
Moicano?
Yeah, no, Laranja. Right? yeah, he lost to Hanato, and then
That's the only Hanato I know.
Also, let's see who else. Walt Harris. There's a guy who's fighting Sergei Spivak. I don't know who that is. Guy's 9-0.
Is BJ Penn fighting on this one, or is that later?
BJ got in trouble.
Yeah, I
For
heard.
like
Yeah.
domestic violence or something, I don't know what happened. Macy Chasen.
Is that really a crime though? I'm just kidding.
Macy Chasen. Well, I was thinking like, I don't know. Whatever.
You were thinking that you like your.
No, I had a girl one time. My first girlfriend. I used to fall asleep, and I'd wake up with her riding me all the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I guess I didn't get her off during sex, and she
Right.
was like trying, and I'd be like, oh, whatever. So I would try to do the best, and she'd be like, good job, and be like, wow, you're pretty good for not being awake.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
But if I did that to her, I could be
It'd
in
be a
jail
problem,
right now.
yeah.
Like, damn. You know.
I did hear that you like your beer the same way you like your violence. Domestic.
Yeah, yes, that's
I stole that joke too.
So Macy Chasen, this girl, I saw her she beat Gina. Remember Gina Danger, girl I used to date a long time ago. Sarah Moore.
Wait, she beat her?
Yeah, she beat her pretty bad. And
So
I
girl
like
you used to
Gina.
date fought?
Yeah, girl. Well, she was in the UFC. She was
Oh,
a fighter. Yeah,
I thought she just happened to be fought a UFC fighter. I was like, wait, that's weird.
She's fighting Sarah Moras. Sarah Moras, who beat Angela Hill, looked great in her last fight.
Macy Chasen, she's like one of those fighters in their weight division that's like freakishly big for their division.
Yeah.
So she's gonna be a problem for a lot of women.
I hope Sarah wins.
I don't see how Sarah's gonna win.
Sarah's one of those weird, bizarre fighter, those that like she beat Ashley Evans Smith. She has like weird flexibility,
Right.
and she started training in like Canada with like by herself at like her local 24-hour fitness or something, and now she's over at like either Syndicate or Extreme and like at a real camp.
Right.
And those people do much better a lot of times. So I've seen it go the other way, where the guy was doing better when he was with like the Joe Schmo gym.
Right.
But now she's won 2 in a row. I mean, beat Ashley Evans and Angela Hill. I don't know, but this
Roy
other girl-
Nelson used to train in his living room. Like
Yeah.
Roy Nelson literally put mats in his living room.
His
and they
kitchen, I
trained-
heard.
Yeah, or something. Yeah, it was. But he was training at his house. Oh, I got you. I thought you were serious.
No,
I was
I'm
like somewhere in
serious.
there. He was just training in his house. That was
Yeah.
strange.
Also, Juan Adams. See that guy fight?
Never.
Oh,
no.
this dude's hilarious. He's always complaining that no one wants to fight him on Twitter, but he looks like he's like this big black dude that like.
Doesn't matter what color he is, but I understand.
He just looks like he just looks funny. But his fights are always just like they look like those backyard brawls.
Right.
But it's crazy. Yeah, this should be a good fight. And then Mitch Gagnon's fighting against Cole Smith. It's a good card. It's a lot of Canadians.
It's on Saturday.
Saturday.
Is that ESPN? That's not a pay-per-view, surely, right?
No.
Yeah, it's just on ESPN.
No, ESPN.
All ESPN Plus.
ESPN Plus. And then PFL. PFL is May 1st. May 9th. That's gonna be good. That's for $1 million.
Yeah.
6 fighters winning $1 million. And that's Lewis Taylor, whose nickname is Put the Guns Down. He's from Chicago.
Yeah.
Put the guns down. He won $1 million last year. He was a wrestling coach at like 30. Became a pro fighter, won $1 million. Wow. Now he's doing, and he's doing it again. Kayla Harrison. They started a 155-pound women's division.
Did they really?
Yeah, this girl is fucking ripped.
155 women's division.
Yeah,
Wow.
this girl's a 2-time Olympic gold medalist. Never been done in judo. She did it twice. She has arms. She's dating that guy Rocco. Rocco's what's his name? The guy from ATT. Nice guy.
Freddie.
No.
I was just saying, not him.
His name is he changed the name to Rocco. His name is not Rocco.
Is it Tony Martin?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
He
like
just changed his name to Rocco?
yeah.
That's weird. Doesn't even sound like Tony Martin in any way. It ain't like it's like call me T or something. It's like just call me Rocco.
Yes,
Like-
his name is Rocco. He's fighting Damian Maya next.
Really?
Rocco.
Has that been announced?
Yeah, it's been announced.
Yes, I saw that.
And I'm like, I'm Adam Hunter. Call me Kevin. People are like, what? What's going on here?
Call me Boris.
Right. Like, that's strange.
Yes.
I did hear that, they're always after that 18 to 34 male demographic. I read in the paper the other day that ever since they started the 155-pound male division, the African-American 18 to 34 male demographic has exploded for the viewers.
Really?
Because you like big white women. That's what I was getting
Oh,
at.
come on. That's funny. That's hilarious.
Damn it.
You said men's division. You said women's division.
No, I said the women's division,
yeah.
but the 1834 African-American men were watching it.
Also, John Howard is in this. John Howard, who is he says he has autism. He just discovered that a couple years ago. But, yeah. So, but he's autistic. He's fighting Magomed.
I've never seen him draw anything. I'll show you something funny. As we were driving here, there was a guy in a suit on a scooter, and my girlfriend started recording him, and she's going to put on Snapchat, and it like does suggested titles. And this guy's driving real fast on a little scooter. He looks crazy wearing a suit, hair blowing around. And the first one that came up was it said it's Autism Awareness Month. Like that's the first thing it says on Snapchat. The first suggestion for that video, and I said, yeah, probably go to a different one.
When me and Connor Hune were coaching, right? They told us, hey, a kid on your team has autism this year, right? So there was one kid that was never listening, like just screaming, out of control. We went out of our way to be nice to him. Turned out he didn't have autism. There was another kid that was a dick. That was like that sweet kid didn't know right from left. That kid was just being a dick the whole season.
He got away with it.
Out of our way, like the other kid like didn't know right from left. The kid that had like you would never know anything was wrong with the kid. We're like, come on. And so Ray Cooper III is fighting Zane Kamaka in this.
He pivoted quickly off the autism subject.
But anyway, Ray Cooper, these two guys are cousins in Hawaii. And they're fighting each other.
That's weird.
Yeah.
So they were only cousins when they're in Hawaii? That's weird. Like when they used to be in Hawaii, they were cousins. It was strange.
I feel like if I was fighting a family member, I'd feel obligated to like fix the fight, like keep it between us, like
Yeah, I don't know. Just the loser has to.
On me getting knocked out, I'll let you knock me out.
The loser has to babysit the other kid. I mean, what is that? That's gonna be an awkward Thanksgiving, right?
I know.
Well, since they're not in Hawaii anymore, they probably don't even see each other because they're no longer family. So
yeah, that's a good point. And then David Michau's fighting in this. He's in the PFL now. The Bulldog.
The Bulldog.
Yeah, it was in the UFC. He's from the North Dakota, the one of the tribes over there. He's he's forgot.
Oh, is he Indian, Native American?
Yeah, Native American.
He's on the show, huh?
Yeah, he's been on the show plenty of times. He's afraid of flying, actually.
That's why he rides a horse?
Yeah, his Indian name's One Who Walks. No, kidding. No, but he actually is afraid of flying, so he's driving all the way to New York from Arizona.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You gotta think that affects like your camp, right? Or like your fight week.
I guess so.
Big ass
he's fighting at 170, but and then he's fighting a guy named Sabadou C. I know this because I'm working with the PFL now. Who he's from Amsterdam, or no, he's from what flag is that? It's from Norway?
That's like Sweden. That's because that's Gus's
Sweden.
flag, right?
Yeah, he's from Sweden, but he's a movie star in Vietnam. He's been in 2 Vietnamese movies.
So he's from Sweden, but he's a movie star in Vietnam.
Yeah, he's playing Godzilla.
That's the way to do it, dude.
Yeah.
He's also cousins with 2 guys when he's in Vietnam. It's a whole extended family. How do you think, out of curiosity, how do you think the guys in the UFC that are making 10-10 feel about PFL fighters who they might know they're better than making $1 million for a fight? That would really burn me up if I was still fighting.
And they could go back the next year.
Yeah,
and
they literally could win $1 million a year doing that. And you're like, at the end of the year in the UFC, trying to figure out, okay, I made 32 on fights minus my 14,000 for medicals.
Place, you make 250,000.
Yeah, it's insane, man.
I don't know why more guys aren't going over.
I know a guy. Can't remember his name. Heavyweight. He got I think 4th place. Still got $100,000. 4th place in that tournament or something.
Yeah.
100. What is the guy's name? Alex. The Spartan, Alex Nicholson. I think he got 3rd or 4th, and he still got $100,000.
Cuddly Bear, I think, came in 2nd.
Yeah.
Cuddly Bear. The guy, his nickname is Cuddly Bear. He's from Texas. A big chubby guy. And then he was in TMZ. He got domestic abuse. I guess he wasn't that cuddly. But, so anyway, what do you got coming up, Sean?
Nothing, just more hanging out. We went to, me and my girlfriend went to the Warner Brothers Studios today and did a tour. And it was weird, man. We were on there, and you know how, I don't know, I'm not real touristy or whatever, but we're on there, and you're with the standard people who are like, oh my gosh, look at that. And they're all taking pictures with what they think is the Friends set, not realizing that show hasn't been on in 15 years, and they didn't just leave it there. You know, it's for the thing. And there was a guy behind us. Every time anyone would make a joke, he would just like laugh and repeat it, you know. They were like, it was one of the things, they're like, oh, this is where we like to call this our such and so, like we like to call this our rainbow room. He's like, rainbow room. Like, and just, it was getting real irritating. He kept like trying to make real lame jokes. And then I turned around. I was like, holy shit, Brendan Schaub is on this tour. Like, I thought I was the only fighter on here. It was just Schaub hilarious. Just repeating everything that was going on. It really wasn't him, but
that's funny.
No, there really was a guy repeating everything. The joke, like they said.
When I went to Halloween nights over there, and it's the worst because all these like actors like dressed up as like zombies trying to kill you.
Right.
And my wife was like hated it because they come right in your face. They can't touch you, but it's like they come as close as they possibly can. Yeah. And my wife's like, get the fuck out of here. We went on a couple of rides. I'm like, what was your favorite ride? She goes, the elevator. She was like, get me out of here. Didn't you get laid working there?
You're talking about Universal?
Universal.
I mean, yeah.
Where did you work?
I was a wizard at Harry Potter World.
Yeah.
There's no easier way to get laid than that.
I mean, dude, I'm serious. Because on the ride, it's like a giant ride with like 30 employees, like
Right.
on this one ride. And every employee is just banging each other, dude. Because
Really?
it's miserable.
Yeah,
It's just like hell. It's like there's dudes that are like 30 years old, that went to school, working on a fucking amusement park ride. They're miserable. They're banging. They're actually banging on the ride too. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they got caught a couple times.
that's his next step. That's his next step after the S&M. That's his amusement park sex, like 90-mile-an-hour upside down on a roller coaster.
Oh my God. What do you got coming up, Joe?
Go follow me on Twitter and Instagram at the Weendawg. A new Paranormal Hour episode is dropping soon. Stay tuned. And yeah, dude.
All right. Well, this Thursday night, I'm at Tommy T's in Rancho Cordova, New York City. I'm at the Gotham Comedy Club, May 16th. The West Side, and it's a virtual reality show. I don't know how that even works, but
I think that's just real life. I think they just come in and watch you.
May 17th and 18th, I'm at the West Side Comedy Club in New York City. Ventura Harbor Comedy Club, May 23rd to the 26th. The Avi Casino in Laughlin, June 7th or June 6th, one of them. Comedy Cave in Calgary, June 11th to the 16th. Minnesota House of Comedy, June 19th to 23rd. Stratosphere, July 1st to the 7th. Off the Hook Comedy Club in Naples, July 18th to the 21st. Looney Bin in Little Rock, Arkansas, August 21st to 24th. If you order off Amazon, go to adamhunter.com first, then click on Amazon. Also, tell everyone how great this podcast is. It's going to be on Rockfin, ROKFIN. On Rockfin, I'm putting up 4 podcasts a week on Rockfin, ROKFIN/Adam Hunter. Endorse me. You can listen to all the podcasts you want. I will make it worth your while.
Trap sonsen, trap dansen. Түүний сонсдог хөгжим дур булаан. Даавар стуулан дур булаа мууруулаа.